Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller, and as Chair of the Board, I welcome you to this November 7th, 2023 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Our office coordinator, Aaron Smith, will describe how our meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Aaron.
Thanks, Chair Fuller. There are multiple ways to make public comment during today's board meeting, whether you're joining us in person or virtually. If you're here in person and would like to make public comment, please fill out the sign-in sheet now. If you're joining us virtually, we will ask you to raise your hand at the appropriate time in the agenda. If you're joining us virtually and are experiencing technical issues with audio or video during the meeting, submit a comment in the chat feature and our communications manager will help you troubleshoot. The audio and video of this meeting is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be posted to wcroads.org in the next few days. There are printed copies of today's meeting agenda on the table near the front door, and it is also posted on our website. And now I'll turn it back over to Chair Fuller.
Thanks, Aaron. I now call this November 7th, 2023 regular meeting to order and ask Aaron to call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller.
Present.
Vice Chair Rod Green.
Present.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Present.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Present.
And Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Present.
And then the following directors are in attendance: Managing Director Cheryl Siddle, Managing Director Matt McDonald, Director of Engineering and County Highway Engineer Brent Schlack, Director of Operations Adam Lape is absent but represented by Superintendent of Maintenance Ken Harris, Director of Finance and IT Dan Ackerman.
Thanks, Aaron. Please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I so move.
Support.
Any discussion, any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. The agenda is approved as presented. We have two sets of minutes to accept today. May I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of October 17th, 2023, appearing on pages 4 through 13 of the packet.
So move. Support.
Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would please.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. The minutes from the October 17th meeting are accepted as presented. Next, may I have a motion to accept the working session minutes of October 17th, 2023, as presented, appearing on pages 14 and 15 of the packet.
I'll make that motion.
Support. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next item on our agenda is public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board. Aaron will take this time to explain how people may be recognized to offer comments.
Thanks, Chair Fuller. Since this is a hybrid meeting with both in-person and virtual attendees, we will take turns between those attending in person and virtually. For virtual attendees, we have provided some instructions on the screen on how to participate and make public comment. If you're attending this meeting virtually and would like to make public comment, please raise your hand now. If you dialed into the meeting from your phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. Our communications manager will unmute virtual participants with raised hands one at a time and will announce your username and last 4 digits of your phone number when it is your turn to speak. Please share your name and address before beginning your comments. And then for our in-person attendees, we will start with those who signed up on the sign-in sheet. If you didn't sign in, you're still welcome to make comment. At this time, we don't have any in-person or virtual.
All right, thank you. We will move on then. Written communications appear on pages 16 and through 18 of the packet. Commissioners, anything you want to draw our attention to? All right, we will bypass comment to public comment because there was none. New business. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, items 1 through 3. The motions appear on pages 19 through 21. Our background documentation is on pages 27 through 38.
So moved.
Support. Any items people have questions about or want clarification on? Seeing none. Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Bart Fuller.
Yes. The consent agenda is approved as presented. Next, we have 5 action items today. May I have a motion to approve action item number 1, to acquire a public road easement in Ypsilanti Township. The background is on pages 39 through 41. The motion itself appears on page 22. If someone would read that motion, please.
Madam Chair, that upon the recommendation of the Director of Engineering, County Highway Engineer, and concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby approves the acquisition of a 3,475 square foot public road easement, more particularly described in attachment A from the property owner Pine View Golf Course Limited Partnership and the land contract purchaser Ypsilanti Golf Group LLC, located upon a parcel of property commonly known as Pine View Golf Course or 5820 Stony Creek Road, Ypsilanti Township, Michigan, with a corresponding tax identification number of K-11-20-301-017 in the amount of $20,000.
I support.
Thank you. Any discussion, any questions on this at all? No. Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
And Commissioner Bart Fuller.
Yes, we have approved action item number 1 as presented. Next, may I have a motion to approve action item number 2 to acquire a second public road easement in Ypsilanti Township. The background is on pages 42 through 44. The motion for this particular acquisition is on page 23.
Madam Chair, that upon the recommendation of the Director of Engineering, County Highway Engineer, and concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby approves the acquisition of 9,570 square footage public road easement, more particularly described in attachment A, from the property owner, Farah Properties LLC, located upon a parcel of property commonly known as 4995 Stony Creek Road, Ypsilanti Township, Michigan, with a corresponding tax identification number of K11-21-300-053 in the amount of $18,000.
Support.
Any questions or clarification desired? Seeing none, Aaron, please.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green. Oh, Commissioner Rod Green.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
And then Commissioner Bart Fuller.
Yes. Oh, the second right-of-way public road easement is adopted. Next, may I have a motion to approve action item number 3 to acquire a public road easement in Augusta Township. The background appears on pages 45 through 49. The motion itself appears on page 24.
Madam Chair, I move that upon the recommendation of the Director of Engineering / County Highway Engineer and concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby approves the acquisition of a 2,300 square foot public road easement and 1,000 square foot temporary grading permit, more particularly described in attachment A and B from the property owners Christopher Jones and Crystal Jones, which located upon a parcel of property commonly known as 796666 Willis Road, Augusta Township, Michigan, with the corresponding tax identification number of T-20-09 100-005 in the amount of $12,000.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or desire for clarification? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
yes,
And Commissioner Bart Fuller.
Yes. The acquisition is approved as presented. Next, may I have a motion to approve action item number 4 to acquire a second public road easement in Augusta Township. The background appears on pages 50 through 54. The motion is on page 25.
Proposed motion that upon the recommendation of the Director of Engineering, County Highway and Engineer, and the concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby approves the acquisition of 550 square feet public road easement and a 550 square foot temporary grading permit, more particularly described as in attachment A and B from the property owners Brian K. Tasker and Susan S. Tasker, and the land contract purchaser, Lighthouse Baptist Temple, located upon the parcel of property commonly known as 8969 Whitaker Road, Augusta Township, Michigan, with the corresponding tax identification number of T-20-03-300-008 in the amount of $600.
I support.
Any questions? Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
yes,
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
And Commissioner Bart Fuller.
Yes. The public road easement acquisition is approved as presented. May I have a motion to approve action item number 5 to acquire a third public road easement in Augusta Township? The background appears on pages 55 through 58. The motion itself appears on page 26.
Madam Chair, that upon the recommendation of the Director of Engineering, County Highway Engineer, and concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby approves the acquisition of a 10,489 square foot public road easement and a 3,452 square foot temporary grading permit, more particularly described in attachments A and B from the property owners Beverly D. Tasker Revocable Living Trust dated February 28th, 2000, and Brian K. Tasker, located upon a parcel of property commonly known as vacant northeast corner Whitaker Road at Willis Road, Augusta Township, Michigan, with a corresponding tax identification number of T-20-03-300-014 in the amount of $35,000.
I support.
Thank you. Any questions or desire for clarification? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes,
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Bart Fuller.
Yes. That third public road easement in Augusta Township is approved for acquisition. We will move on now to reports. Our county commissioner liaisons, I have been advised by an email from Commissioner Caroline Sanders that she and Commissioner Crystal Light are at an all-day conference and will be unable to join us. We will go to road commissioner reports, starting with Jeff Smurs.
On December 25th at noon, I attended the chat with the commissioner chat. We did not have any public participation. That's the end of my report.
All right, thank you. Commissioner McCollum?
yes, Madam Chair, on October 22nd, I attended the County Road Association seminar. On October 23rd, I attended the Commissioners Committee. I viewed the Whitaker and Willis Roundabout public meeting video, and on November 6th, I attended the Southeastern Council meeting. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Yamas?
On November 6th, I attended the county road seminar. And that is all I have.
All right. Commissioner Green?
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the 22nd of October, I attended the County Road Association seminar and workshop, and on the 6th of November, I attended the Southeast Council meeting of the County Road Association. Thank you.
All right,
That
thank
concludes
you.
my report.
I will report that on October 22nd and 23rd, I too attended the 2023 County Road Association Commissioners Seminar. Commissioner Joanne McCollum expertly facilitated presentations by 3 of the 2023 CRA Impress Award winners. Also of note was the participation of Washtenaw County State Representative Jason Morgan as a panelist in the discussion about transportation funding. Representative Morgan is the vice chair of the House Appropriations Transportation Subcommittee. On November 3rd, I attended the Ann Arbor Ypsilanti Chambers 2023 Impact Forum. On November 4th, I completed the required Washtenaw County Road Commission cybersecurity training modules. On November 6th, I attended the quarterly meeting of the Southeast Council of Road Agencies in Coldwater. Present from our organization were Cheryl Siddle, Managing Director, Commissioners Barbara Fuller, Joanne McCollum, and Roderick Green. As the Washtenaw County Roads Plus trustee, I gave a Roads Plus report and encouraged attendees to support its efforts. The County Road Association Education Committee member, Commissioner Joanne McCollum, reported on behalf of her committee, and CRA Negotiating Committee member, Commissioner Roderick Green, gave an update on that committee. Next Tuesday, I want to draw people's attention to the fact that there will be a meeting on Tuesday, November 14th, a joint meeting of the Washtenaw County Road Commission and the Washtenaw County Parks and Recreation Commission. This joint meeting will convene at 2 p.m. on November 14th at the Pierce Lake Golf Course, 1175 South Main Street in Chelsea. It's just north of the exit off of I-94 on the east side of the road. The purpose of the joint meeting is to address questions and concerns about Administrator Gregory Dill's October 18th, 2023 County Revenue White Paper, and to learn when and at what meeting of the Board of Commissioners will they take action to put the renew and restore roads and non-motorized millage and the expiring parks and recreation millages before the voters. And that concludes my report. We will move on to the managing director's reports, staff reports, and any other updates that you wish to share. Cheryl.
Thank you, Commissioner Fuller. I will report on the county road and non-motorized millage renewal and restoration efforts. Staff has been working hard on putting a project plan together for this organization. So that has been sort of an iterative process that we go through, primarily relying upon our asset management plan and looking at the appropriate fix. Again, trying to keep those good and fair roads in good and fair conditions. So there's been a lot of effort going into that. I think we're close to having a draft plan ready should that next step be availed to us. I have also been coordinating with Coy Vaughn, who is the director for county parks, on this joint meeting that Commissioner Fuller just referenced. I did just send to all of the commissioners the official notice for the meeting that Aaron had put together. I will ask Aaron to put that as a calendar invite as well for all of you. We hope that you will be able to make that. Included in my email, I did put some of the questions that Coy and I have both put forth to Greg and Andrew, so you're aware of at least the questions that have been asked by us so far, and certainly I'm sure that Greg and Andrew will welcome any other questions that you may have. So I'd be happy to answer any questions on that subject before I hand it over to Matt.
I just want to emphasize it's a joint meeting so that in the event there are a quorum of us present, we are in compliance with the Open Meetings Act, fully in compliance. And it will be, as I noted, out in Chelsea, and I hope you all can make an effort to be there. I have also advised Commissioner Sanders and Commissioner Light of the meeting because it was just settled on yesterday, I think, pretty much, and they might not have yet gotten notice. And I wanted to make sure that our liaisons were aware this discussion was going to take place, where and when. So I'm hopeful that they'll be joining us. To you.
All right. I will be happy to hand it over to Matt.
Good afternoon, commissioners. I want to say thank you again for the opportunity to work side by side with Cheryl. It's been very good getting started in this new role over the last couple of weeks. But I just wanted to say thank you for that. Did anyone have any questions on the staff reports before we get to the directors?
I don't see any.
Okay. Well, first up, we have Director of Operations, but in his stead, Adam Leif, is Ken Harris, our Superintendent of Maintenance.
Hello, Mr. Harris.
Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon, Commissioners. Ken Harris, Superintendent of Maintenance. I'll give a quick update on operations. The crew dry run inspections are completed. We still have some facility and shop inspections and crew meetings to follow up with, so those will be scheduled here in the next couple of weeks. Routine maintenance activities continue throughout the county. That includes drainage, forestry, and surface maintenance throughout the county. Linden Township, Dexter, Lodi, and Freedom projects completion is ongoing. Linden and Dexter have some minor forestry activities we have to complete. And Lodi and Freedom, we're working with them on getting some agreements put together for some cost savings we had in projects this year in preparation for next year's projects.
So wait, so there was money left over that they can roll forward then? Is that what they?
There's money left over. We're trying to capture to complete projects in preparation for next year. The work will be done this year still. But we had some savings from projects that we look to complete projects that are or potential projects next year.
Nice. Okay.
And then just a quick update on material storage building. The construction is ongoing. Concrete placement for the internal floor and the external driveway is ongoing. And then after that, the timber structure, which is the rafters and the roof, will convene after that. And that concludes the operations update. If there's any other further questions or updates, feel free to ask at this time or reach out to Mr. Lake.
Anything for Ken?
I'll just say that we're awaiting notification of our golden plow. So this Thursday at the employee appreciation breakfast on the 9th, we'll be hearing the results of dry run. So what crews did the best and the individual award as well. So anxiously waiting that.
I'll bet you're glad that's over with, huh?
We always encourage, that's an exciting time of year to
Yeah.
get eyes on.
Crews
all
take great pride.
Yeah.
So very good. My first experience in doing it, and I very much enjoyed and certainly asked a lot of questions. So thank you for your patience.
Did everybody see the article in the Ann Arbor News in Sunday's paper?
Live article.
Yeah, I think, so, yeah.
It was in the hard copy too, with two nice big
Oh, yeah?
pictures and,
Nice.
yeah,
Very
so
nice.
none of you, I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner.
Fuller, if I may, while Ken is still standing there. What Ken highlighted with Lodi Township is something that more and more staff has been working very hard on. When we have efficiencies in the program, to stay on top of those costs, almost, I don't want to say they're not quite up, daily done, but very, very frequent check-in to see where we're at. Because if there are cost savings, and we take great pride in being able to do work efficiently, we like to see the townships then invest those additional savings back into the road system. They had already budgeted for it, and there's usually work to be done.
Right.
So I just want to applaud Ken and his staff. That really is something that they've worked on very hard this year. And I think that what they're doing in Lodi is a great example of that.
So the savings are from this year and you're able to fold them back in yet this year.
Yep.
That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Anything else, people? No? Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, Ken.
Yep.
All right, next up, we have Brent Schlack, our Director of Engineering.
Hello, good afternoon. Brent Schlack, Director of Engineering. I guess first I just want to, last meeting, we reported that North Territorial was closed for a couple culverts. That is now open. Hopefully you've seen that communication. There is still work that needs to be done with that project for next year. We will be looking at the intersection of North Territorial and Webster Church, along with some improvements along that road for safety reasons, signage and what have you.
Is that the one that's going to be a full closure?
No, it will not be fully closed. That will be North Territorial Dexter Town Hall. That's the safety project that actually we just received bids for. That's where we're cutting the hill down on
Yep.
North Territorial Road. The one for North Territorial and Webster Church will be open for one lane through traffic signals.
Okay.
So I guess I can, North Territorial and Dexter Town Hall, we did receive bids in, for that, just recently. They were a little higher than, our engineer's estimate, but we're working through those numbers. And that should be reflected in our next year's budget. Through our local road program, we are paving within Ypsilanti Township. That work is complete for the paving side of it. We do have some concrete work, concrete curb and ADA ramps that we'll be completing next year. That'll unfortunately have to carry over till next year. Platte Road Greenway, that's nearing completion. We did have mast arms come in for the crosswalks. So those were installed. There's a little bit of work for the crosswalks that need to be completed, but that's nearing completion. Textile Road, the Pittsfield sanitary sewer, we're hoping by next week that will be open. Fingers crossed. I know they're working out there to try and get that open. Other than that, staff is continuing to work, as you saw on the agenda today, with several right-of-way acquisitions. So we're really making a big push for 2024 projects to get those out to bid. So other than that, that's concludes my report, unless there's any questions.
So the bids came in high.
They did. They came in just over 12% high for North Territorial and Dexter Town Hall. Fonson was the contractor that was the low bid for that project. So we got some administrative things we need to work through with MDOT to make sure that we move forward with that project.
I don't remember what percentage over do we usually?
It's 10% over is where they require us to justify whether or not we would accept that bid.
And just for the commissioners, we also received a number of qualified bids for that project.
Did, yes.
So there was a number of good bids, good contractors, and they were tightly as far as the value of the bids. So we feel very comfortable moving forward and working through the state to award the project.
Yes, thanks, Matt.
So this one wasn't out here and everybody.
No,
else was-
no, yeah. As we reviewed the bids, I mean, there were several items that, and for good reasons that they were higher than normal.
Commissioner Green, oh, and Commissioner Yamas.
If a bid is beyond that 10% threshold, is it automatically rejected or what happens to that?
No, if it's beyond the 10%, then we have to provide justification to MDOT to move forward.
I see.
And we can request it to be rebid. But in this situation, like Matt said, those bids were real tight. Costs are not going to get any cheaper. And there were good reasons on some of those items as far as HMM paving and for the reason for those costs. So we felt comfortable moving forward. So we sent that justification to MDOT and then that'll get reflected within our budget.
Thank you.
Commissioner Yamas.
He just answered the question. Had the request already been sent? The justification has already been sent.
It has been sent, yes.
Because we have in the past stopped and rebid, right? Do I remember?
Yes,
Those,
yes.
those were way higher than 12% over
Yes.
estimate. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, thank you.
Anything else for Brent? Thanks, Brent.
Dovetails nicely with budget. There's been a lot of budget discussions, and with that, I'd like to bring up our Director of Finance and IT.
Good afternoon, Board. Dan Ackerman, Director of Finance and IT. Let's talk Michigan Transportation Funds first. Last page of your packet. Give you a moment. So the September of 23 MTF was actually down 6% compared to September of 2022. I wasn't too concerned by that because you see fluctuations, but apparently someone was because CRA sent a communication out saying, don't panic. They reached out to MDOT, who reached out to the state treasury, and they are saying there's timing issues. I guess when all this is submitted to the state, sometimes it's submitted late and who knows what sort of deadlines they have or what have you. So according to CRA, the October will be much higher. So, you know, time will tell on that. But that's the correspondence we received. Like I said, I wasn't overly concerned. I mean, I noticed definitely there was a decrease, but I wasn't overly concerned about it. And it seems like the timing issues have replaced the fact, usually when there's a big fluctuation, we would call up to the state and they would say, oh, people are driving more or driving less. Now, apparently, there's a timing issue of when all the receipts are received at the state level from the gas stations and so on, so. And I have no idea how that works or what sort of deadlines they have, but, you know, there's been a couple of times where that's impacted the collections. So I don't know, maybe it might be a good thing for CRA to look into, like, is there a way they can try and have that be a little more consistent, or and I have no idea how they even get all that information, but so I don't know if there's any questions on that, but
We're still tracking pretty closely.
we're still
to the
trending
estimate,
well. Yep.
right?
Year to date, we're up about 5% from budget level or from last year. And we're fine as far as our budget's concerned too.
Right.
And obviously we're talking about the budget. So, you know, where should we put MTF for this year and next year? I've been looking probably once a week. The budget department for the state of Michigan, they'll put out revised estimates of MTF collections. And they have not put anything out since this past February. Usually they have a
Wait,
couple of them.
February?
February, right. So they've not revisited it. There's no rhyme or reason to when they revise their estimates for that either. Sometimes they would do it 3 times a year in February and, you know, in the summertime and then August, September-ish. So I'm not sure the rhyme or reason to that, but, you know, I think we'll just go with the most recent projections we received for next year and, you know, probably hold the line, maybe increase it slightly, the budget for MTF for this year, but we'll certainly be discussing that and we'll be presenting that to the board. So obviously very important though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hard to believe it's November, and November kind of starts the busy time of the year for the finance department. So we're getting, you know, trying to get everything processed for year end. We're working on budgets. We're trying to get things ready for our annual audits. The end of December is very busy when we roll our systems over and put in new tax tables. So we already had a planning meeting, the finance department, as far as timing. We have to look at pay ends and check runs and vacations and just make sure that we continue to have things flow and move along. So we have a pretty good plan for everything, and we feel pretty good about the timing of everything, but we always have to look ahead though. You know, we can't just say, oh, what's next week look like? So we're already talking about, you know, into the first quarter of next year, just to make sure that we're on top of things and that, like I said, just, we want to continue to pay our employees, of course. We want to continue to pay our vendors and do what we can to get everything processed for this year, because as you know, our audit occurs usually the last week in January or the first week in February, which is a very tight window. So, you know, we have to do a lot of planning in order to make sure we're ready for it, and we will be.
You always have been.
Yes, yes. We do our best. So we also, as Matt mentioned, budget's a big focus. We had a meeting with the leadership team this morning, just talking about projects, you know, where we think we're going to end up in 2023. Some projects might be carried over in 2024, and just, you know, what impact that all of our project levels have on our budgets. So we want to make sure we're ready for our working session, which will be the morning of our next board meeting in November. So that still is being processed right now, but I think we're getting closer. And next week, you will see 2 budgets from us, one for year end 2023, as well as the initial budget for 2024. So that's the goal. So we're getting closer on that. As far as IT, November is cybersecurity training month, and IT, we can see who's been participating in the training, and several of you I noticed were on the list as far as you've already gone through some of the exercises. So thank you. You have the whole month of November to complete all the cybersecurity exercises, but I encourage you to do it sooner rather than later, because I know I tend to put something off and then I might forget about it, and then, oh shoot, I've got a couple of days left. It takes maybe half an hour to an hour or so. And actually the organization is doing great. We're up to almost 45% of the organization has completed the cybersecurity training, which is great. So, everybody's doing really well with it. You can also provide feedback from the training, and most of the feedback has been fairly positive from the users. They find it's useful, not only for working here, but maybe in their personal lives as well, just some good tips and tricks and best practices. So that's something that, I'm glad we've been able to do the last couple of years, and I think has been very successful. Something else that Chris Quinter, our IT manager, is looking into is having a third-party security audit. And so what this would entail is another computer company not associated with the Road Commission, so completely independent. Basically, they try and hack into our system. And maybe they're successful, maybe they're not. But then we get some valuable feedback. We feel like we're doing a good job. We feel like we have good controls. And we do that in partnership with our managed service provider, and they provide suggestions. But if you have somebody totally different from you that looks at it from a totally different way, who knows what they might find out. So I think we would learn a lot from that. Our auditors have encouraged us to do this. And again, that's also best practices to just go through that exercise, see if there are any weaknesses that we don't know about, and fix them. Cheryl shared that at the Southeast Conference, I don't know if any of you went to the Southeast meeting, there was a road commission that actually was hacked. And fortunately, it sounded like they had, I don't know about their controls, but they had good backups of all their information. And it was actually a ransomware attack. So basically pay us money and we'll give you your data, which turned out to be what RoadSoft is what one of the things that they had access to.
The road soft data, yeah.
So, they I guess passed the test in a way. I mean, not the fact that, somebody did penetrate their system, but they had adequate backups and so on. So I guess they didn't end up paying the ransomware, which obviously that's where you want to be with it. So, if you ever think, oh, we're a small company and, no one cares about us. Well, that's the wrong way to think, because Ogama is much smaller than us and it happened to them. So it could happen to anybody. So, security is something that has always got to be at the front of your mind, and something we always need to be aware about for sure.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes.
Yes, Dan, do you have the organizations or the businesses in mind? Which ones you want for the third-party security audit?
Yes, we do actually. So Chris attended a webinar through McChrysip, which is our liability pool. And the company that was running that, and the name escapes me, do you recall?
Cowbell, I believe.
Well, Cowbell, but there was another company associated with, and I can get you that name. They actually said the first 5 that I think respond to a survey that they would do that for free for us. So, so this is through McChrysip, which I like, our liability insurance. We actually have a kickoff meeting this week, and I'll find out more about it. But that's how I learned about this organization. So,
Thank you.
and I'll get you the name.
Sure.
Any other questions on that at all?
This cybersecurity training seemed like a refresher. It wasn't nearly as long as involved, unless I missed something. It took me about a half hour, and
Yeah,
the
no,
first
I
time
mean,
through there,
there are similar things that I think bear repeating. There are certain things.
I'm just concerned I didn't do them all, Dan.
Oh, no. I mean, did you get your little certificate when you were
A
done?
couple of
It
them,
said
but
you
the
completed
we
it?
did But the first time we did it, we
Okay.
received like 4 or 5 attaboys.
Yeah, it's just, I want to say it's a little bit random as far as, what things that are covered.
Okay.
It wasn't
okay.
necessarily a refresher. I think it was just different. Maybe the other one was a little more involved in, I don't know,
Yeah,
but,
Okay.
Just getting that much better, bro.
and
I
maybe,
kept
maybe,
looking
right.
Like, so.
There you go.
did I
Give yourself some credit.
bail on something and I shouldn't have? If Chris says I skipped something, please ask him to let me know.
And we receive all that information
Okay.
as far as what's completed, who has completed what,
Yeah.
who still needs to go through things, who's in progress. So there's a lot of
Okay,
data out there. So definitely we would let you know. So,
okay.
Yes,
Yes.
Chris will let Matt and I know if any of the commissioners have not completed or.
It-
it doesn't take much time at all.
So if you
I
start
really-
hearing from Matt
yeah.
and me,
Yeah, it really doesn't.
And I
take-
think the format too is, it's not entirely dry, right? So I like the format that they use.
Yeah,
It keeps your interest, I think, so.
combination of videos and personal anecdotes. and
Right.
The little dude drawing and then coloring in and yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yep. Any other questions on that? Also, just real quickly, we received some other additional testers for Windows 11, so we'll be rolling that out, and ultimately we'll all have to be on it at some point, so. And basically, the goal of that is to get like a diverse cross-section of the organization, try RoadSoft, try all the various software to see if you can break that platform. Just to see if it's going to create any issues for any of the software that we use. And again, Chris, Josh and I have been on it for some time now, and there hasn't been any major issues at all. It just looks slightly different and not even that bad. So, but that's something that we're gonna
Okay.
gently move everybody towards, so. And besides that, I forgot if I reported or not, but the OneDrive migration is now complete. Kudos to Josh on that. He got through it very quickly. That was something we were hoping to get through by the end of the year, and here it is early November and it's already completed, so. And that's my report, unless there's any questions.
Anybody?
Okay,
Looks
great.
good.
Well, thank you.
Okay. That's it.
That's it.
That's
That's all
it.
we have. Thank you.
All right. So at this time, may I have a motion to enter into closed session under section 8D of the Open Meetings Act to discuss the acquisition of right-of-way for parcels 7 and 8 of the Whitaker Road at Willis Road Roundabout Project in Augusta Township.
So move.
Support.
Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, we are in closed session. May I have a motion to return to open session?
So move.
Support.
Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, we are back in open session. Next, I need a motion regarding the acquisition of right-of-way for parcels 7 and 8 of the Whitaker Road at Willis Road. I'm going to modify this. I need a motion regarding parcels 7 and 8 in Augusta Township, a resolution of declaration of taking.
Madam Chair, that upon the recommendation of the Director of Engineering, County Highway Engineer, and the concurrence of the Managing Director, the Board hereby adopts the resolution of declaration of taking as presented for parcel 7 located at 8092 Willis Road in Augusta Township, Washtenaw County, parcel T-20-10-200-004, and parcel 8 located at 8006 Willis Road in Augusta Township, Washtenaw County, parcel T-20-10-200-016 for the Whitaker Road at Willis Road Roundabout Project.
I support.
Any discussion? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the resolution of declaration of taking is adopted unanimously. Next, I need a motion regarding a resolution for estimated just compensation for parcels 7 and 8 as described.
Make that
Madam Chair.
motion.
Go ahead.
That upon the recommendation of the Director and Engineering County Highway Engineer and the concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby adopts the resolution for estimated just compensation as presented for parcel 7 located at 8092 Willis Road in Augusta Township, Washtenaw County, parcel T-20-10-200-004, and parcel 8 located at 8006 Willis Road in Augusta Township, Washtenaw County, parcel T 20 10 200 for the Whitaker Road at Willis Road Roundabout Project.
Support.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
And Commissioner Bart Fuller.
Yes, the resolution for estimated just compensation is adopted. All right. I'd like everyone to please note that next Tuesday, November 14th at 2 p.m., there will be a joint meeting of the Washtenaw County Road Commission and the Washtenaw County Parks and Recreation Commission at the Pierce Lake Golf Course, 1175 South Main Street in Chelsea. On November 21st, we have a 9 a.m. working session. It's our last working session of this year, and we will receive a presentation on the preliminary 2024 budget and probably a fourth quarter review for this year. And then at 1 o'clock, we'll roll into our regular board meeting on that same day. Tomorrow, Commissioner Joanne McCollum is on duty for the chat session that occurs from noon to 1 p.m. And on November 15th, I'm the commissioner on call for the chat session. If there's no further business to come before the board, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Bart Fuller.
Yes, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.